Hi, Coach Kevin here. Back at you with another whiteboard series. This is a 3-part series that's going to focus on strength and stability. It's going to show you a lot of great exercises that you can apply to youth sports teams, but it's also good for adults who want to just maintain their health and fitness so they can keep playing for years to come. This 3-part series has mostly foundational exercises with a couple of the more advanced ones mixed into it. To teach you how to add this variety of exercises into your strength and conditioning program, I'm going to show you footage from a free clinic that we provided one of our elite athlete sponsored swim teams. Using the elite athlete accessories, we're able to use a space that otherwise wouldn't have been used for anything. So it was at no cost for the team to add this type of program into their strength training. And as we all know, finding space to train your athletes can be a challenge at times. Now for part 3 of the strength and stability exercises that are ideal for both youth sports teams and adult rec teams. Again, this is going to keep your athletes healthy, reducing that risk of injury, allowing them to play for years to come. Elite Athlete also has discounts for teams and sponsorship opportunities. So make sure you check out the website. You can look through some of the workout guides and get links to other videos, as well as contact them if you're a coach about potentially having a sponsorship and getting discounts for your team. I really like the Elite Athlete kits. Give you all the different bands and accessories that you need to do all those exercises. There's a lot of bands out there that are good for certain exercises, but they're just not versatile enough to use them for all the exercises. And then you need to get different equipment to do different things. Elite Athlete gives you everything needed to set up all your exercises at locations that otherwise aren't being used. Watch how we set up exercises for a free Elite Athlete sponsored clinic. Now you're going to learn how to do superset number 2 and 3. Combining these with everything else will give you a total body workout. Superset number 2 is going to use the same bands that were used from the previous video in superset number 1. But as you'll see, the bands just get moved on the fence to be in a different location to allow for different exercises. Now we're going to set up for our next set, and we're going to keep everything attached to the anchor. You're just going to pull the strap loose and then bring it through the strap and undo it. Now this is where we're going to have to squeeze in a little more because I got this in the way, but you're then going to set it up at about shoulder height. So you put it through 2 of the metal links on the fence, and then you put it back inside the black strap, and you pull it through. And then pull it tight. I like to have the athletes start out with curls, and these are a little bit different from the traditional curl. The resistance is coming from in front of them, making them have to use their back muscles, stabilizing their body at the same time. We're going to start out with curls. So I like doing curls this way because you're also strengthening your back at the same time versus pulling up from the bottom. So I keep my elbows in front of me, and then I bring my wrists toward my shoulders. And then you go into rows. And as you pull your elbows back behind you, you maintain good posture. And you want to have your hands go as wide as your shoulders. So don't pull them in like this. Make them just a little bit wider as you pull them back. It's good to go directly from the curls into the rows. And that's just going to further strengthen their backs while also continuing to work out the biceps at the same time. Yep, so keep your elbows up in front of you. It's a little bit better. Yeah, and as you pull back with your rows, make sure your hands are at shoulder width. Good, I see a lot of you adjusting your resistance accordingly. That's good. You're noticing it's too easy, and then you're taking a little step back. The front presses are great for developing good push-ups. Now, if the athletes already have good push-ups, they can just start out by doing push-ups. And then when they start to fatigue and lose that technique, they hop up and then they do some of the front press. And then it works like a drop set, which is great for just taking that strength to the next level in a safe way. And so with front press, it's the same technique. You're gonna bring your elbows back slightly down. And if the band is up against your arms, then it's probably a good position. And then I push straight forward in front of my chest. Now if I push up too much, see how the bands lift off? You don't want to do that. You want to keep the bands running along the sides of your arms, just like this. Let your elbows go wide, just a little bit lower than your shoulders, and then push straight forward. So if your bands are lifting off your arms, then you're pushing up too much. You need to push a little bit lower. All right, so let's switch how you're holding onto them. So let's have the strap go over the top like that. The third superset is going to use the same bands that were used in those stability exercises, as well as a heavier band that's probably going to be from medium to heavy weight to use for the squats. They're going to use the same bands for the side raises and the vertical press. And so they're going to be able to go from one exercise directly into the other without having to reset up how the bands are under their feet. So for the side raises, you're going to step your foot inside of each band. Now for now, let's not add an extra loop, but I know some of you are probably strong enough that you could go like this, wrap it around one more time and increase that resistance. All right, and then when that starts getting easy, you progress into the pink bands. And then I think I've only got one swimmer that adds an extra loop with the pink bands. So you can get to that point. So for the side raises, you're crossing them in front, thumbs point forward. Again, keep your shoulders back, and then stick your hips just a couple inches behind you, leaning forward a little bit. And then you bring your arms up to a T shape, and then back down. And you want to be careful not to have your thumbs down and not to go way higher than that T shape. When you cross this midway point, sometimes it can pinch inside your shoulders. So you want to keep your thumbs forward and then stop at the T shape and come back down. And now if you know you have some shoulder issues, sometimes it helps to turn the thumbs up just a little bit and reduce that pinching in your shoulders. So go ahead, 10 side raises. Yeah, so if you have that slight lean forward from your hips, it's going to activate some more muscles in your back. Right, so when you lift your arms forward, recovering, you're also pulling your arm up as it comes forward. So this helps strengthen those muscles at the same time. I would have my swimmers just go from one right to the next. And then you're going to take it and you're going to flip it around to the back side of your arms like this. So in this position, we can do a vertical press, but I like to call them streamline presses. And when you press up, you squeeze in just a little bit like that to bring your arms to your head. And then you come back down. Make sure your wrist stays directly above your elbow the whole time. So some people have a tendency to do this, so we want to keep the hands straight above your elbow. Good. And definitely when you do the side raises right into the streamline press, makes it quite a bit harder. And this is one early season I try to be really careful with because their shoulders are already so sore just from building up the yardage, that I'll go really easy with this for like the first few weeks, and then I start challenging them a little more once they're adapting. The front squats are one of my favorite leg exercises because it teaches them that good technique, keeping their bodies upright and keeping that weight back on their heels as they go down. So this is one of my favorite leg exercises with the bands. You're gonna stand inside of them like this, and you only need one. Notice how my feet are shoulder width. And I'm gonna squat down, and just wait a second first before you do it. I'm gonna lift it up onto the fronts of my shoulders. And then from this position, I stand up. So notice how it's balancing there. I always keep my hand just in case if it slides off, but you wanna try to get it balanced so it'll just stay there on the fronts of your shoulders.
Notice how he keeps his arms up. That helps keep the band. If he drops his arms down,
Yep.
the band's in the
If I do this, right? And that's why you should keep your hands on it the entire time, just in case. So then if your posture leans forward or if your elbows drop, your hands are holding onto it.
Good training for when you guys go off to college and start doing weights and do front squats. On a front squat, you're gonna hold that bar just like that.
All right, so go ahead, do 10 front squats. Try not to let your knees bow in, keep them straight in line. Keep your weight back on your heels. Yeah, so I usually start the younger kids out on the red band. And then as we progress into high school, we start going blue and up. Now, the taller you are, the farther the band stretches, so sometimes really tall people can't use as difficult of a band. I hope this video series is going to help you develop your strength and conditioning program in a way that helps improve the performance of your athletes, as well as save money on your budget. And as always, if you learned something new that you like, please click like and subscribe below, so that way I can keep getting you more content. Additionally, if you know of anyone who'd be interested in this, please share it with them. And as always, be strong and be elite.